What are the worst crimes that have been committed by athletes? Let's find out. Hey guys, it's Devin Howard. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me there as @DevinHoward. Make sure you subscribe to the Fumble, tap the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Recently, we talked about how Quinton Dunbar and DeAndre Baker got themselves into a bit of hot water when they decided to rob their friends at a barbecue in Florida. According to witnesses, the two men had lost about 70 grand a few days before in a high-stakes cards game, and they decided to make up for it by robbing people they knew at this cookout. Things got ugly when DeAndre pulled out a gun and also instructed a third unidentified individual to shoot another guest. The two made out with cash and luxury watches before fleeing in getaway cars that were waiting outside. One was a BMW, another a Mercedes, and a third a Lambo. The two face multiple charges, and I have a feeling they won't be playing in an NFL game ever again. But what are some of the other crazy crimes we've seen committed by sports stars? Let's discuss. Starting off with Lawrence Taylor. He was sentenced to 6 years probation back in 2011 after he pled guilty to sexual misconduct and seeking out sexual relationships with an underage girl. The 17-year-old denied the reports that she was a sex worker and said that she had been forced to go to Lawrence's home and was even beaten beforehand. He went from being all-world defender to registered sex offender. It's a pretty heinous crime to commit and one that definitely distracts from the accomplishments he made on the field. Up next, let's discuss Robert Rozier. He had a pretty short career playing in the NFL, and once he was done, he committed a series of small crimes in the 1980s. After serving a 6-month prison sentence, he moved into the Temple of Love full-time, which was a cult led by Yahweh Ben Yahweh, a known black supremacist. Yahweh would send his followers out on missions to murder people that he felt were being disrespectful to God or to black people. Robert murdered 6 people for Yahweh, and to make things even worse, the murders were often extremely gruesome, and the killers had to bring back a piece of the victim's ear to prove they committed the act. We of course have to discuss O.J. Simpson. His trial was one of the most scrutinized in history. He was tried on 2 counts of murder following the deaths of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. He was found innocent due to tampered evidence. It didn't help his case very much when he later released a book detailing how he would have killed Nicole and Ronald had he been the one to do it. Eddie Johnson was a promising guard in the NBA, but he was kicked out of the league 10 years after being drafted for drug addiction. As that all went down, he seemed to spiral out of control and was sentenced to life in prison for sexual battery of an 8-year-old girl. Absolutely terrible, and it's really hard to imagine that somebody who seemed like a promising player in the NBA could commit such a terrible crime. Finally, we have to talk about Ray Carruth. This story is a really tragic one. Ray was apparently dreading becoming a dad and paying for child support, so he decided to have his friend shoot his pregnant girlfriend, Sharika Adams, as they were coming home from a movie. The shots didn't immediately kill her, and she was able to call 911. She was taken to the hospital where she fell into a coma and later died. Ray faced 18 years in prison for conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. He also gets to see the direct impact of his horrible decision in his son, who survived the shooting but has cerebral palsy because of it. These crimes are really, really terrible, and it's crazy to imagine that some of our favorite athletes and sports stars and promising recruits were the ones to commit them. Which one was the craziest to you? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell. I'm Devin Howard for The Fumble, and I'll see you later.